out of the car. You're being detained. Face away.
Turn that way.
Face away.
Can I put my phone in my hand?
In Jacksonville, Florida, police officers brutally beat a deaf man for not listening to them.
Got his legs.
Ow! Put your hands behind your back.
Hey!
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back now. I didn't do anything. Can I get my hearing aid? I can't hear. I don't have my hearing aid. I can't hear.
You'd have it if you just listen. It's easier to just listen.
Were they just mocking him, or were they being serious? Well, sadly, probably both.
He can hear us. You gotta talk loud to him.
The deaf man reached out to me. He gave me all of the story. He gave me all of the body cam. And the footage captures everything, and it shows exactly how cops are able to beat people up and get away with it pretty much every time. Unless you've done something to prevent it, your information is being collected and traded online by these shady data brokers who create shadow profiles on you that are then sold to the highest bidder, including insurance companies, businesses, banks, and even the government. And all of this is without your knowledge or your consent. I use and recommend a product called Mockery. It tracks down those data brokers who have your information, and then they have that data completely removed. So you don't have to be a lawyer to do this. You don't have to spend hundreds of hours of your time to do this. You just sign up for Mockery. Let them do it for you. It works. As of today, Mockery has located my private information with 799 different data brokers, and to date, they have had that data deleted from the internet with 722 of those data brokers, with 77 others still in progress. And now they have an extra level of protection with Mockery's custom removals feature in the unlimited plan and the family unlimited plan. You can point to any website on the internet where you find your private information, and Mockery's privacy agents will have it removed for you. So check out Mockery using the link below, or go to mockery.com/civil and use code CIVIL to get an exclusive 60% off just for my audience. Now let's get back to this video. This body cam footage begins in the driveway of a home in a neighborhood in Jacksonville, Florida, where numerous police officers have responded to a domestic call. This is the home of 44-year-old Joe Rich. He's been deaf most of his life as a result of a meningitis infection that he got when he was 2 years old. While he can hear some sound with the help of a hearing aid, he primarily is able to communicate by reading people's lips. Now, the police say that it was Joe's significant other who called the police asking for their help. Joe and his longtime significant other both tell me that it was actually a dispute between Joe and his adult son. Either way, it's undisputed that there was some sort of domestic disturbance at this home, and that the police were called to it. After the argument occurred, but before the police were called, Joe ended up leaving the house in a car with his mother. Joe's mother was contacted. She was ordered by the police to return Joe to the house. The cops were already at Joe's house, and they were waiting on Joe to arrive along with his mother. Officers had not yet spoken with Joe about what happened and what did not happen. He was not yet under arrest. There was no warrant for his arrest. It was still under investigation, but the officers had decided that the first thing they were going to do, even before they questioned Joe, was to put him in handcuffs.
Man, can y'all lock the door?
Can't lock the door.
I'm trying. Just a minute. Just a minute. Hey.
The officers were aware that Joe was deaf. As the vehicle came to a stop in the driveway, Joe put his hands on the dashboard of the car as he knew that the officers would want to see his hands. At this point, he's wearing his hearing aid and he's able to see the officer's lips. So he understands at this point what they want him to do. They want him to get out of the car, so he gets out of the car. But that's where things end up going completely sideways.
Step out of the car. You're being detained. Face away.
Turn that way.
Face away.
Can I put my phone in my hand?
Piece of shit.
So did you hear what Joe just said?
Piece of shit.
I believe that this was the police officer's motive in beating Joe that night. Joe insulted them And they didn't like it, so they did what they did. Why did Joe say that? Remember, he can't hear what they're telling him at this point. He's looking the other direction. He says that a police officer that you can't see out of frame shined a flashlight right into his face. And that's when Joe reacted, calling him what he called him.
Piece of shit.
It was almost immediately after that when the police officers turned violent on Joe. So far, even though he was deaf, Joe has been completely compliant. He's totally surrounded by police officers. There are at least 3 right behind him in the process of handcuffing him. So what goes wrong here? This is what the arresting officer wrote in his police report. This is Officer Isaac. He's the one who is right behind Joe. Officers approached the suspect and instructed him to step out of the vehicle. The suspect stepped out eventually and was told he is being detained for a criminal investigation. As Officer Hill and I attempted to detain the suspect in handcuffs, he grabbed my hand, preventing me from placing him in handcuffs. The suspect then started actively resisting by pulling away. Therefore, he was taken down to the ground. For some reason, Officer Isaac, who you will see, knows very well that Joe is deaf,
He can hear us. He's got to talk loud to me.
neglects to mention that there were actually 3 officers putting him in handcuffs. Why does he only mention 2 and not 3? Well, perhaps it's less believable that 3 officers could not handcuff this guy as opposed to 2. I don't know. He claims that Joe grabbed his hand, and then he claims that Joe then began actively pulling away from him, and that it became necessary to take him to the ground. We don't see any pulling away from him, certainly not actively pulling away. Do you see Joe actively pulling away from him at all prior to Joe being taken down to the ground? Because I don't.
Stop fucking grabbing me, dude.
Ow! What are you doing?
Put your hands behind your back.
In fact, what we see is the officer with the body cam that they're going to hand over step backwards so that you can't see the hands. You can't see behind the car door. You can't see the handcuffing. You have 3 police officers gang up on this guy, all behind him. The main one of which knows that he's deaf, that he can't hear what he's saying, that he can't read his lips to understand what he's saying. That's when they pretend there's some sort of active resistance there. Boom, all 3 of these police officers violently take this guy to the ground. Not only did they not give him a chance to comply with any orders, they knew very well that he couldn't hear their orders, which weren't really orders anyways, were they? They were just sort of acting. The suspect continued to actively resist, tensing and pulling away. While on the ground, there, Officer Hill and I had to use physical force to gain control of him. Again, the report pretends that only 2 officers were involved, when it was actually a gang of 3. We see one officer kneeling on his legs, holding Joe's legs down, while another officer, I believe it was Isaac, begins pummeling and punching Joe in the face, while the 3rd officer pummels and punches Joe in the abdomen, in the back, in the kidneys.
Got his legs.
Ow! Put your hands behind your back.
Hey!
Put your fucking hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your fucking hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Ow! I didn't do anything.
And cops know that when one of them begins punching the face, what is the instinctual reflex of somebody? To attempt to cover their face. So they threw Joe on his chest with his arms underneath him. They begin to punch him in the face. As he attempts ineffectually to cover his face and shield his face from the blows, they order him to give them his hands.
Put your hands behind your back. Fucking hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
And not only is this man deaf and can't hear them in order to comply with those orders, but they're punching him in the face and physically preventing him from being able to put his hands behind his back. But that's not the point. Again, this is acting. This is theater. And the female officer wants to jump in, but there's no room because there's literally so many cops on top of Joe. And we can see that it's absolute lies that there are only 2 officers there attempting to gain control of this man. No, 3 cops were on top of him, beating him to a pulp.
Give me your fucking hand, dude.
Got him. Got him. Got him.
I got this one. I got this one.
Cuffs.
Need some?
Yep.
I got my hearing aid? What's wrong with you? Did I get my hearing aid? What is wrong with you? I didn't do anything. Did I get my hearing aid? Ow! Ow! I didn't do anything.
Stand up.
Ow!
Stand up.
The suspect was eventually detained in handcuffs and placed in the back of my patrol vehicle. We know the police officers like context, right? Well, another important piece of context that is missing from the officer's police report is the fact that the guy that they are arresting and recording themselves punching, etc., well, he's deaf. And they took him down so violently that his hearing aid flew off into the grass somewhere. And he's basically begging for his hearing aid. And that's when the officers began to mock him, saying, well, you should have listened. You'd still have your hearing aid if you had listened. None of this would have happened if you had listened. So not only are they mocking him, but they're also sort of sending the message that you were beaten because you didn't do what you were told because you couldn't listen. And haha, isn't that funny?
Can you get my hearing aid, please? Ow!
Isabella, stop.
Sure, can you please get my hearing aid? Can I get my hearing aid? Sir, can I get my hearing aid? Sir, can I get my hearing aid?
You got him? You got him?
Cook, do you have him? He's asking you if you have control.
It's easier just
Can you
listen.
get my hearing aid? I can't hear.
Yeah, we'll go look for it. You'd have it if you just listen.
But wait, there's more. They weren't actually done mocking and torturing Joe here. Despite the fact that there was no allegation in this video that Joe ever attempted to spit on the officers, knowing full well that he relied on his eyes and lip reading in order to communicate with them, they put a spit mask on Joe, covering his head, covering his face. Perhaps for no reason other than just yet another layer of retaliation against Joe based on what he had said to them earlier.
Why are you putting that on me? I didn't do anything.
You like to spit, that's why.
I didn't spit.
You have history of you spitting, so that's why.
You don't have any weapons on you, do you?
I can't hear. I don't have my hearing aid.
He asked you, do you have any weapons? I think
She isn't be a quick detain.
Shortly afterwards, the arresting officer, Officer Isaac, is talking to this female officer whose body cam we have been watching. And in that conversation, he admits that he's aware of Joe's disability. Yet he claims, for some reason, that to my knowledge is completely false. He thinks that Joe can hear, but you just have to talk really loud.
Can I get my hearing aid, please?
I'm glad we were all here.
He can hear it. You just gotta talk loud to him.
Why are you putting a spit mask on me? I didn't spit.
Would you like to spit, buddy?
Mom, look at me! Mom!
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh no, they got tasers now. Okay.
That's good, yeah.
No. No. What did you do to him?
We used necessary force to put him into restraint. That's what we did. Okay?
I was literally walking through my window.
Our body cams also watched
Yeah,
it.
we have cameras on too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joe actually thinks that they put the spit mask on him to hide the injuries to his face. And if we look at the booking information that he was able to obtain from when he was taken to jail, you can see that he has substantial injuries on his body following the use of force that occurred. He was taken to the emergency room that night there locally. They found that no fractures had occurred. He was charged with simple assault from the domestic and also resisting arrest with violence. His bail was $25,000, which he had posted with a bondsman immediately. Apparently, somebody must have found out that he had posted bond, perhaps the arresting officer. Somebody went after he posted bond and added another charge of assault on a law enforcement officer. His original bond was then revoked, and then he had to sit in jail for 58 days until his current attorney was able to argue in court that he should be out on bond. So after sitting in jail for 58 days, he bonded out, and as soon as he was released from jail, the first thing he did was go to a different hospital. They ran tests on him, and they found that he did have an old rib fracture. Now, this is 58 days later. That was in the process of healing. His criminal charges are still currently pending. I'll update you if I hear anything else. Also, to avoid any defenses of allegations of deceptive editing, things of that nature, I will upload the unedited raw body cam footage to my raw body cam footage channel so that you can go through it yourself and see what I cut and what I did not cut. And also see it without any of the blurring, etc. that I'm required to do. Here we see something that police officers do all the time across the country. In situations like this, they can decide that they want to beat somebody up. Police officers converge on the individual. They begin the process of handcuffing the person, but very importantly, they don't finish that process because you can't really beat a handcuffed person and get away with it very easily. So in the process of handcuffing, the person starts resisting. They start tensing up. All of a sudden you hear, give me your hands, stop resisting, things like that. Then you have this violent use of force, and there's a gang of cops involved in it. They would have no problem controlling this person or handcuffing this person if that's what they wanted to do. But it's theatrics. They pretend that the person is resisting. We don't see any attempted punches or kicks or rolling around or attempting to flee or anything like that. We just sort of have to take the officer's word for it that they're refusing to give their hands. Made all the more difficult by the fact that the individual's getting punched in the face and punched in the ribs. This is a setup. I've seen it many times before. At the end of the day, leadership and prosecutors, they are going to support this. They're going to take the officer's word for it. And it may be up to a jury at the end of the day to decide whether or not they saw any active resistance, creating some sort of necessity to do what they did. This was clearly excessive. And I think a jury would agree with that actually here. But let me know what you think in a comment. Did you see any active resistance on behalf of Joe in this video? Do you think that the violence that these officers engaged in was justified? Let me know. And if I hear any updates, I'll let you know, so you can follow along by subscribing both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can follow me on Twitter at JohnBryanESQ. Our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.